One. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Or good afternoon in some places. Or maybe it's evening when
Here.
you're watching this. All right, well, all right, this is Rainy and Ray with Talking Freely. And today's topic is going to be about the Hazen Fire in Buckeye, Arizona. Because I am in Buckeye,
We know some
Arizona.
people that live there.
Yeah, I just happen to be one of them. And so I've seen it firsthand. And this is like, I just wanted to come on today and give an update on what I know that's factual. And then kind of rant about some of the people that live out here because I tell you, it's like the sky is falling. The sky is falling. The
Oh
sky is
no.
falling. Oh my God.
Oh no,
What are we
Chicken
going to
Little.
do?
That's
Oh my
okay,
God.
Chicken Little.
Do we need to evacuate? Do we need to evacuate? Oh my God, the fire. I can see it from my house. I can see it from my backyard. There's smoke back there. Do we need to evacuate? Should we send our kids to school in the morning? Oh my God.
Well, I was one of those people all the way from across the country because I saw it and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Rainy, do you need to evacuate?"
It's like, okay, literally like maybe 2 to 3 miles away from me. Like straight up the road because the main road that I'm off of, you go straight up there and there's this place called the Hidden Lake, and it's I don't know if it's man. I don't think it's man-made. It's basically just kind of like off of what the river, the Gila River, and so there's a lake out there, and it used to be just kind of like it's unincorporated, and people used to just go out there and go fishing or whatever. I don't think the fish was very like edible, but I know my son used to go out there and they used to just kind of float and fish and whatever. Well, then somebody ended up buying the land that the lake is on, and they they named it the Hidden Lake, and um, they turned it into like an event area. They built a stage out there and had like a little kind of like a tiki bar, but like
Oh,
and uh and so they would have like live music out there, and
well,
my
that's
son,
fun.
yeah, so before they even opened up, my son would go out there and he got to know the owner, and he would go out there and help him and get things cleaned up or whatever, and he did all that stuff for free. He didn't get paid. And anyway, so then when they finally opened up and they started having music out there, and and since my son was good with the sound and all that stuff, he actually at first was loaning out like his speakers um and go out there and adjust the sound and stuff so that the band sounded good. And then I think they ended up updating some stuff or whatever. Anyways, and my son would take out lights and he put them around the little bar area, and kind of spruce help spruce it up a little bit so it looked more
Oh,
entertaining. It was really cool. I've only been out there a couple times. Um, they had tables and nice little sitting areas either like right off the lake. They had like fire pit. Um, so yeah, it was kind of cool. And they'd always have like food trucks out there and stuff. So it was kind of a little something that was something for people to do that lived out here. Well,
oh,
then um, the guy that owns it, um, apparently the area out there, it was called Allentown, and it's like a black community. And anyways, this one guy was like, his land is kind of close to the, like connected to the land also where the lake is. And so they would get into these territory battles over the land or whatever. And anyway, so the owner ended up getting shot by the guy that lived out there, shot, and then
that your son helped?
Yeah, shot by this guy, and he died. And so then he ended up taking her, and she was basically kind of making weddings and stuff.
Mhm.
She was a photographer, or and built it up even more, and she had more people helping out, whatever. And then it got flooded out. The rain, one time it rained so much that it the flowed and flooded. So they helped clean it up and get it back into some kind of working order. But anyway, so then like a few summers ago, it was like maybe she closed it down like indefinitely, like modifications or whatever, updates, whatever. Well, anyway, so
Mhm.
I decided to do a little Google search and find out. Let's see if I can find it. Um, okay, Google search, and it's amazing what you can find when you do a little research on things that so many people ask questions about, and then they think they know everything about everything out here. And it's like I've lived out here for gosh, 20 23 years. Crazy. Yeah, I mean here there was nothing. There was no stores, and all these houses weren't out here. None of this. Basically from south, or it was just the old town Buckeye, and it was a town, and there was less than 25,000 people that lived here. And so a few years, I moved out here in 2003 into the town of Buckeye, and there was Sonic, there was Pizza Hut, and that was about restaurants go. This is just all down in the downtown area, with a few other places that were for food and whatever. Some places only stayed open for like 10 to 2. And then we have our little post office, whatever. That was it. That was Buckeye. We didn't have Walmart. We didn't have Fry's. We didn't have all these other fast food places that we have now.
It,
Well, other
it
than,
was a dusty little town.
yeah, I mean, it was like you had the truck stop, the Love's truck stop off of
Oh
Miller
yeah.
Road, and then, and there was like at the time when I first moved here, there was like a Taco Bell in there and A&W and pizza. It's in Subway is in there now. And then now, there's QT, we've got Fry's, we've got Walmart, we've got McDonald's, Taco Bell, all kinds of stuff. It's grown so much. And actually, the population out here now is close to 100,000 people. So you go from barely to, and that's how much this place has grown just in probably, well, my house was built in 2005. My house, it was 5 years old. So I moved here. I moved in my house in 2010 because I used to live downtown in the apartments. So to me, it's like I've literally watched this place grow. I've seen how so many
Yes.
farm sold out, gave up, their land, and they're building all these warehouses out here, and it's just crazy. And so now I look up because there's this fire starts Saturday, and, which was weird because Friday we cleaned out our garage, we made a haul to the dump, and then Saturday there's a fire. Allegedly, it was arson, so that's how that it was started.
I
And
thought you were gonna say it was our. I thought you were gonna say it was our stuff.
no, arson, like
Did you go? It
somebody
was our
arson. Somebody
arson. I got
would
it. I
like
got it.
somebody else started the fire, and
Yes,
it
that's
was right
true.
off of the like right off the like highway. Like if you're driving towards Gila Bend, or if you were heading like to go to San Diego, that would be that highway that you would take to go there and head that way anyway. So the fire starts close to that, and it moves in further, and basically at this point 35 acres have burned from the, and it reached the lake, and then it went beyond the lake because their plan was they were going to do a fire line, get it where so the fire would basically stop by the time it
They're
reached
trying to box it in.
yeah, to stop by the time it reached the lake. Well, it hopped the lake apparently,
Oh,
and now it's beyond the lake and it's still going. So, but what I read this morning was okay, so 1,100 acres plus has burned, and it's now 45% contained, which
oh,
is
good.
progress because for the last several days it's been 0% contained. I think yesterday it said it was like 10% contained, so anyway, so everybody's going nuts. So when that's crazy, the last 2 days have been so beautiful, and it has only been like 73 degrees outside, and
Oh, that's
I've had my
beautiful.
door open. I don't smell any smoke out here, but I'll tell
Really?
you, yeah. And I went
Good.
to Goodyear on Monday for a doctor's appointment, and when I got there, it's like when I got out of my car, I could smell the smoke. So I think the smoke is actually more affecting the rest of the valley more so than it is out here. Unless
Okay,
you're
good.
unless you're closer to the fire, like in the path of the wind where it's blowing
Hmm.
directly towards your house or whatever. Maybe those people are smelling it because some people are complaining that they can smell the smoke and it's making them nauseous and they feel lightheaded and dizzy and they have now vertigo and their throat hurts and all this stuff. People, it's like constant complaining on like the next door neighbor app, and
Yeah.
I'm just like over it. And then people, you want to send my kids to school because they got asthma. Well, you know what? You're their parent. Use your best judgment.
Right, figure it out.
If you don't feel that it's safe for your child to be out there, then don't send them to school. The schools are on, like, are prepared for this. They have the kids set on rainy day schedule. So even though it's not raining, but they'll keep them inside to keep them out of the elements of the smoke. And then people are like, it's salt cedar burning. And the salt cedar, it's toxic. Well, let me tell you, do a little research because salt cedar is not toxic. The smoke, yes. And the black smoke, yes. And you know what? I'm sure there's probably so much other crap out there that's burning, like tires and plastic and all the other stuff that people throw out in the riverbed. Like when,
Mattresses.
people go out riding or do whatever they're doing out there and just throw trash wherever. That's like the dumping
Yep.
place. People go and dump stuff all the time. And so I'm sure that stuff is burning, okay? So, yeah, there is.
Remember when we used to go dirt bike riding out and you would just go out in the desert like random. I mean, you lived out there, but like just
Mhm.
random riding, no path, anything, and then you just come across this pile of junk, and you're like,
Right. People
this is
go,
so spooky. Is someone living here? And you're like looking around, like it would just be terrifying. Like, let's get out of here. But it's like,
mhm.
how did a vehicle even get there to dump all that? It's crazy. But people are just yuck, and they dump stuff all over the place in the
Yeah.
desert.
Well, now you have,
Yeah.
people had like the three-wheelers back then. Now they have four-wheelers. They got those Can-Ams and Razors that they go out riding,
Yes.
so it's like
Yeah.
there's so much stuff. And then, people just trash whatever. So yeah, there's going to be toxic, crap in the air. And yeah, it is going to suck to have to breathe that in, but that's what masks are for. You can wear a mask and then you won't have to breathe it in as much. But I live right off Miller Road, which is direct path to where the fire is at. And the equestrian center is down there. And I know, as far as I know, that was like the only place that technically wasn't evacuated, but I think the people that own the place made it to where no, like they got all the horses out, and a
Oh,
lot of people
good, good. Oh,
volunteered to go and help. Brought trailers out there to get the horses. Some other people that had stables or whatever that they could put horses there, they offered them to be able to stay there or whatever. There's an RV park there also because, people that go there for the rodeos and whatever stuff, people stay there. And anyway, so they ended up having to leave their homes because of the smoke. And that, I know the smoke was really bad over there because I drove out there a few days ago
mm-hmm.
and to just kind of get an idea of like how close this fire was to where I am. And so I was like, okay, well, it would have to go through a lot of farmland. And my concern was if it were to reach the equestrian center, I'd be more concerned if it actually started burning that place down, which it hasn't. And but the fire is moving kind of northeast, and now it's moving further east. So I don't know exactly the location, but there is a map that actually showed. Let me see if I have it in my photos. I can kind of give an idea of. I don't know if I can, if it'll show up on there. So all the red is the fire. That's how much
Mm-hmm.
it's burned. So the starting point right there is where the SR-85 is. There is the lake. And then so that little red square right there is on the other side of the lake. So anything beyond that, and that was from yesterday. That was at 1,049 acres, and now we're at 1,135. So I don't know. I'd have to pull up that thing. Anyway, so moving on to, I Googled, like, I'd heard a rumor, or I read somewhere that the people that owned the Hidden Lake sold it. And I'm like, what?
Oh.
I did not know that. So I Googled who bought the Hidden Lake in Buckeye. And this is what it says. I tried putting it out there, and people were like, you don't know what you're talking about. That's not true. Well, you know what? Do a little research, and you'll find it. I said, Google it. Google it, and you'll find out yourself. So and get this, okay? Oceanfront Property in Arizona, LLC.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's a real thing. It's an LLC.
So, okay.
An entity tied to California entrepreneur. Oh my God, shocker.
Right?
And former mayor purchased the 120-acre Hidden Lake venue in Buckeye, Arizona for $10.5 million on January 13th, 2026. Well, what's interesting about that is I think that they bought that lake, and I don't know for a fact. I can't remember exactly, but I think they just paid like the taxes on it or something, and it was like $28,000, I think, when they bought it, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong.
Okay, so you don't think that lady got $10.5 million?
No, she sold it for $10.5 million. I mean, I'm thinking, what a hell of a profit that they got off of that land, because when they
Yeah.
bought it, they got it for like 28,000, if I
Oh, got it.
remember. Yeah, so they
Yeah, I
bought
get
the
it. I'm
land.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
think,
You're saying the previous owners bought it for 28. Okay, and then they
yeah.
sold it for. Yeah, no, that is very good, and they deserve it because they built it up. They made it active. They made it what it was that anyone would even want to buy it.
Mhm.
But now is it on fire? Oh, it jumped the lake, so it
Well,
burned all
yeah.
around it.
Well, all the stuff that was probably at the lake, all the equipment, I'm sure all that's
Yes.
burned up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, so the site is planned to be transformed from a former wedding venue into the Hidden Lake Surf Resort.
Surf.
Surf Resort, a new surf park with lagoons and entertainment facilities. So,
Like Big Surf.
that's what I'm thinking. I mean, you have to make it something like that because we don't have waves out there in the lake. It's a river, you know? It's a river bottom.
Right,
So,
right, right.
but this is the thing. Salt cedar is the bush that's growing crazy out there. And
Mm-hmm.
salt cedar is actually not native to Arizona. It comes from like Africa or like Asia or something. So it was basically brought out here back in the 1800s. And
Okay.
so the thing with salt cedar, it soaks up water like crazy. It can take up to 50 to 200 gallons of water a day for one bush. So I'm thinking,
And
if
why did
one bush,
someone bring that over?
yeah, well, because they were trying to, I read it. I can't remember exactly now what. It was to kind of contain some of the overgrowth of some of the other stuff. But who knew that the frickin' salt cedar was like so rampant and growing, and it's fast growing, and it spreads like wildfire, and it drinks up all the water.
Yeah, you guys have a water problem. It's like you need,
Hmm.
enough on your own. You don't need the plants drinking them all up.
And think about it. All of our river bottoms are empty now. They're all dried
They're
up.
dry.
It makes
Mm-hmm.
so much sense now. Salt
Yep.
cedar soaked up all the freaking water, drank it all up. Any water that has probably been flowing through there is not there because the salt cedar is drinking it up.
You
So
reminded me of this song. She drank up all the water.
she ate up all the
Ate up all
whatever.
the soap. Sorry.
That's all right. That's
Oh my
funny.
gosh.
But yeah, so
Okay, well that's terrible. So it's just out there drinking up the water that you guys don't have. If it rains,
yeah,
the
and
salt cedar takes it all.
I mean, you think back when we were kids. Remember all the water, all the rivers were flowing, and it's like you drive by anywhere and you
Yes.
see the water in the river were flowing. Well, now they're all dried up. They've turned the river, and the canals into like parks.
Well, look at Lake Mead. Is that the one that's drying up? And they're finding all those bodies and boats and stuff.
I don't know. I saw some picture the other day of some lake that was kind of like really low, but I don't remember which one
I
it
think it's
was.
I think it's Lake Mead, and I remember going there when we were kids, and it was amazing fun. And now they're
Yeah.
they're probably gonna find Jimmy Hoffa, but I'm
Oh
just
my
saying,
God.
it's like dry,
Well, Mead
drying
is
up, and they're finding.
Lake Mead's the one that's on the way to Vegas, like up that way.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I might have to look that up. But yeah, and then we got Canyon Lake, which is out by north of Scottsdale area, like McDowell. casino, Fort McDowell's casino out there, the Indian reservation.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Lake Pleasant, which is the one that we used to. If I still lived out there, it would be
That's
like 5 minutes away.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only one I've ever really gone to. Oh, and
Yeah.
Lake Mary in California. I mean California. Flagstaff, Lake Mary.
Oh, I haven't been there. And then, well, of course, and
Oh
then
yeah.
there's Prescott that has, I can't remember the name of it. But
Yeah, I don't
anyway,
remember.
so yeah, so this is like crazy stuff, and I know I'm kind of being conspiracy theorist on this, and but then again, we know what conspiracies turned into, truth. So, who knows? I mean, I am just kind of like throwing it out there, but I mean, it's like this is the thing. A few years ago, they were talk about putting like all these like apartments and stuff like that, and everything to kind of be like a Tempe Town Lake out there in that area. And then I
Like
think
a 15-minute city.
um I don't know if that's what it was going to be, but it was like basically an entertainment district, possibly like Tempe Town Lake. Probably
Hmm.
to have like, you know, kayaking and stuff like that, probably. But to have like apartments like built on the sides of the river, whatever. So yeah, so there was talk about that a few years ago, and then I think that kind of went away, and then that was before I think the Hidden Lake was bought. And
Okay.
so things kind of changed a little bit, and plus that land was an unincorporated at that time, and I think during the time that the Hidden Lake was owned, they were able to get it uh to be part of the city, I guess, you know, part of Maricopa County, because they weren't able to have any electricity or any of that. There was none of that out there. They had to use all these generators and stuff to run.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah. So that's like what it's just so much has changed. But anyway, so then uh let me see what no,
Well,
that's
I
it.
hope that poor lady has her $10.5 million and she's happy because what a wonderful thing they did to make it for the
Mhm.
locals and things. And then he ends up getting murdered, and it's awful. I'm glad she got money, could get out of there, but
Mhm.
how sad.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, and the thing is, like, people, that place was hopping out there, I'll tell you. For being out in the middle of nowhere, I mean, you had to drive through the desert, dirt road to get out there, to the lake. And so that was, like, a big thing for out here because there's nothing to do out here. And so then,
Right.
and that in the beginning, no one was even allowed to swim in the lake. No one was allowed to, the only thing that people could do was fish. But it was not recommended to eat the fish because I don't know why, but but it that once they were able to get things changed to where they could do more with it, so then they added like the little paddle boats and big jumping thingy out there for the kids to play on out there,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, kayaking, stuff like that. People could take their boats out
That's
there.
awesome.
They did like boat racing out there. So yeah, so much changed when that place was, turned into all that. And so yeah, for that to now be sold to someone in California to come out here and turn our Buckeye into, East LA, and it's what I've always felt like. They're
And the name.
Californiaizing the what?
Oh, they've been doing it for 40 years. They've been doing it for 40 years. It's just getting worse now.
Yeah.
I remember when I lived in Flagstaff, and all these people from California California were buying up the like A-frame rentals that, you know, people didn't necessarily live in them full time, but they were, I don't know, way before Airbnbs, but kind of, you know, people would
Mm-hmm.
rent them out and stuff. But they were buying them all up, and that was the place to be. They were taken over and then took over Sedona.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. So on here, I found another article. It says like the oceanfront property in Arizona LLC on January 13 scooped up the wedding and events venue that includes a 60-acre lake once used for fishing, kayaking, live music, and festivals. The 10.5 million deal could reshape one of the West Valley's most recognizable waterfront properties. The property is set to be redeveloped into the Hidden Lake Surf Resort, according to Maricopa County records. So yeah. So I'm
that's
wondering.
pretty good.
This is what I'm thinking. Okay, this is my conspiracy theory mind going into this being an intentional fire and why it's still burning. And I think they're clearing out the land this way first so they can bring in the bulldozers and then dig up the roots of the salt cedar and open it up to add more water so that it's bigger, because they're going to need more water if they're going to do a surf thing. Plus, if they're going to turn it into a resort, that means they're going to have it leveled out and everything so that they can build this hotel, I'd imagine, which is a weird
Will
place
be
to have it.
interesting to see.
Hmm.
Mark
So,
that on the calendar and see if it's much easier for them to start building now that this has happened.
yeah. And I'd imagine they're going to probably make another exit, probably off the 85, to have easier access to getting there.
Oh, yeah.
Because no one's going to want to drive through town. It would be a freaking cluster with all the traffic and stuff. So they'd have to do something else to reroute all that traffic, to be able to go out there. So anyway, who knows how long this is even going to take for them to do, because how things take forever out here. But who knows? I mean, they've been building this Mattel resort over by Westgate for 4 years now, and it's like stopped, like mid build. It's not even finished yet, so who knows? We'll all probably be dead by the time it opens.
It's always funny to me because here, not exactly where I live in the suburbs, but in Chicago, it's like landlocked. Like there's, you can tear a place down and build up, not out. But in Arizona, it's always funny to me when you go to a certain place and you're like, that is the same Tasty Freeze that was there 50 years ago, and they haven't changed anything around it. And maybe when we were 10, we were there and they had a concrete block or something that we used to stand on in the back. It's still there. It's like you're just like, this is crazy, like frozen in time. And then you go to 2 blocks away and boom, they've totally changed it. So it's very interesting to me to see some of what they've fixed up and what they've just left behind.
Yeah. Other than they freaking tore down all of our malls. I don't like.
Right.
Was it? I can't even think of the name of them.
Metro
Well,
Center?
no, Metro Center was one, but then there was
Valley West Mall,
Valley West Mall, and then there was the
Maryville Mall.
Actually, whatever Maryville is Desert Ridge. That one's still there, as far as I know.
I thought it was a medical center. I thought Maryville Mall was a medical center now.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of a different mall. I'm thinking of Westridge. Remember, what was Westridge is now Desert Ridge Mall.
Right. Is Westridge the one we went to the movies?
Valley West.
Valley West. That's where my mom worked for Cigna.
Yeah.
She worked there, yep.
And so the other mall was the one where we went to meet that radio DJ from KEZ, Tim Kelly. And I can't think of the name of this. Christown Mall.
I was gonna say Christown. Would that
Yeah.
still be there?
Nope. Tore down. I think that one's tore down. That was one of the first ones to go. And then I think Paradise Valley Mall maybe might be gone. So the only one I know of right now is the one off of Bell, which I can't even think of the stinking name of it now. I don't ever go there, so yeah, I haven't been there.
What about Arrowhead?
That's the one I'm thinking of, yeah. Arrowhead.
Okay.
That's the one off Bell. That one's still there. And the one in Chandler, that one's still there. But both of these malls that are still around are high traffic areas for trafficking. For human trafficking. Yep.
That's terrible.
Yep. People have gotten on. I've seen it on like TikTok a lot, where people have talked about like how they've been followed, and they, they've tried to approach their kids and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd be going like freaking ape shit on somebody if they did that to me. So, but
I'd be doing a non-concealed carry.
Mm-hmm.
Pop, pop.
Yep. So yeah, that's how it is in Arizona now. Arizona's like one of the top places for child trafficking or human trafficking or any trafficking, I guess. I don't know.
I read that it was like the second, it's like the kidnap capital of the United States, and that it was like second worldwide compared to Mexico City. Of course, that was like 10 years ago I read that, but still.
So it's got to be way worse. But it's, yeah.
I was thinking, maybe it's gotten better. And you're like, nope, it's got to be way worse.
I don't think anything ever gets better. The more people that come in here.
Sometimes some people do some things right to stop corruption and horrible, awful looking the other way or whatever is happening.
That's pretty much what our government and the law enforcement and any of those people are doing anymore, is looking the other way. And that's why we have the problems that we have.
So you know where Harris was?
Mm-hmm.
It was off of 55th
and Canto, yep.
Okay, but so if you went, I'm trying to, if you were looking at the school and you went left, what direction is that?
East.
East. So if you go east of 55th, the numbers go higher?
Lower.
Lower? So that would be like 45th Avenue that way?
Mm-hmm.
Like where that Safeway was or whatever, where we go, that was getting lower?
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever I was there, and this was about 17 years ago, but it's probably gotten way worse. I
won't drive in that neighborhood if I don't have to. And I know you're like, let's go and go look at the house. School that we went to. Let's go look at the house. I'm like, go ahead. I'm not going. This freaking ghetto ass Maryville.
I know, and I'm like, oh, I want to show my husband where we grew up.
Mm-mm.
But
he's probably like going, get me the hell out of here. Huh?
We were listening to the news when we were getting ready in the morning, and they were like, kidnapping on 75th and Thomas, kid put in, ripped off skateboard, put in trunk, jumped out blocks later, or whatever. And then there was one where like there was a garage fire, and they went, and there was like 15 people that had been kidnapped, and they were in the garage, and they were being held in the garage, and they started on fire. So they knew that the help would have to come. And the whole time I'm going, oh, that was not that far from where we live. I'm like not trying to let my husband know. Like, what? I'm just sitting there like,
Yeah.
Turn the news off.
There's like, I don't even want to drive down there. You know, I mean, it's bad enough. Like even like one of the concert venues, which is I don't even know the name of it anymore because it was um, Desert Sky Pavilion, but I think it's called something else now. They keep changing the dang name. Um,
Yeah, to
you know,
equalize
like
it.
all the freaking venues keep changing names. I don't know what is what anymore. Someone says, I'm like, where's that? Because I don't even know.
Hmm.
You know, but yeah, to go there, 75th Ave and whatever, to go to that, to go. It's an outdoor venue for concerts. That's about as
Well,
far
I
as I
remember
go.
I remember we were going to meet you at Valley Luna's, and we turned the corner, and I'm like, I can't really remember if this is a street, probably the street, whatever. We go by the bus stop, and there's a lady sitting there, and she's like unwrapping her legs that have severe wounds on them, and he was like, where are you taking me? I mean, like, why did we have to see that of all things, you know? And we get to the parking lot, and there's some guy who has him and a dog tied to a shopping cart and is pushing the shopping cart. No shoes, no shirt. And then
Mm.
you said, "Oh, that's nothing. This is the better part or something." And then I knew Tom was gonna have a fit, but then he ate the food and he was like, "Okay, this is my favorite restaurant ever." Or Mexican food. So the food saved us, but
Well, I know that wasn't Valley Luna's on 35th and Bell.
no, that was wherever we turned. We saw it. It was going to Valley Luna, but it was just
Oh,
like lit.
yeah.
Um, do you ever watch? There's a show that they interview like homeless people in Arizona.
Yeah. Yep.
You
And that guy, if you're talking about Lost in Phoenix, that guy's terrible. And
who is it?
it's called Lost in Phoenix. The man's name is Art.
Okay.
And he basically uses them for content. And so he might give them $10 to interview them, but then basically he's giving them drug money, giving them money to go buy
Yeah.
drugs. He
Yeah.
is he kind of like, what do you call it?
He's
Keeps them,
perpetuating it.
yeah. But then there's another one that I respect, and it's called Masa. Um, and they actually do go out there and set up and feed the homeless and help them. I've literally watched them help this one girl that went by the name Zion, and
Mm-hmm.
her real name is Christy, and she was it was so bad because Art was one of the ones that would go and just what I don't even know how to word it, but it's like you're you're you're
Exploiting them.
yes,
You're
yes, that's
exploiting them for money.
yes.
Yes,
And
and
so
I know that show makes me cry because how can you watch the show? I know it's not live, but for me, I'm envisioning where they're standing or where they're at, how I could get there. Like, how could you not just go pick up that girl and say,
mhm.
no, you have to come here and we're going to get you clean. We're going to, my family kicked me out. This happened to me. This person abused me and now I'm here. It's like, I would be driving around the city just like, nope, let's go. Let's take you to the shelter. Let's get you cleaned up. Let's get you some food. I couldn't do what he's doing. He
Well,
is exploiting
there's a
them.
lot of them. Okay, there's a girl named Angela that he also would exploit, but I think she was like in love with him. So she's like she always just like
Oh.
no matter what, even like when Masa was helping her and trying to get her clean and everything, and when they were doing really good, then it's like, oh, boop 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 boop. He just kind of, hey, and then he would go and interview. Oh, act like he cares, but really, it ended up relapsing every freaking time that they end up talking to him, they relapsed. And so right now, And I haven't heard anything on Christy, aka Zion. Um, she has been doing really, really well. She did end up relapsing after getting in touch with him, and but I think she's doing really well, and I think she's just not on social media now anyway. They haven't shown her. Angela is doing really well, and I don't know who took her in or what, but they've been helping her a lot, and so she's looking good and putting on weight and everything, and looking healthier. And Zion, you wouldn't even recognize her. Let me see if I can pull up.
It's very very taxing. Like, it's hard to watch, to see that, and that you can't help them. And I'm not saying people aren't trying. I know that, addiction is just the devil. It's awful and it tears people up. But yeah, to watch people taking advantage.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is Zion. You might recognize her after gosh. So she's like super, super thin, but now she looks amazing. Let's find it better.
Oh, I think I do recognize her.
Oh yeah, like how thin. It's so sad. It broke my heart every time I'd watch these, but now she looks like this. Damn it. Can't get a good visual.
No, I get it. That's, yeah. Oh.
But yeah, she looks amazing, and now she wants to help other people, that are going through this. So, let me see if I can find Angela. She's the one. Angela has a big, like, cyst or something on her arm. So, oh God. Anyways, this is Angela, like, looking thin, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then this is how she's looking now. Whoops. Oh, and this is Art. This is the guy that's exploiting them. And he acts like he cares and, all that stuff, but he's not helping them. He's hurting them. And then this is Angela now. Gosh darn it. I know the lighting is so bad. Like, the visual of this isn't real good. But to get an idea, you can look them up on and just see the difference.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, I know. I follow a lot of different stuff, and I've followed their journey and stuff like that, and I keep up with what they're doing. And if there was any project out there that I would help, if I could, would be Masa, Masa, and that guy's name is Eric, and he is amazing of what he does for them.
All right, I'm gonna write that down. Yeah, because did you ever watch Soft White Underbelly?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what got me thinking. This one from Phoenix, I just have seen every now and then, but I do follow up on some of the people from that show.
Yeah. Well, so you're aware of, like, the Whitakers and...
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, with all that drama and everything that went down, and now the three young are... blah, 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 blah. My mind has gone blank. Now I can't even think of anybody's names because I haven't been dealing
I never watched I never watched them. I just saw
Oh,
the pictures from his book, and I heard like buzz about it, but I did not see it. What was going on.
did you get the book?
No.
Oh, but yeah. So the Whitakers, like the one that kind of barked when he talked, him,
Hmm.
and then the one that has the kid or whatever that
Hmm.
he her. There's three of them that were taken into homes, like taken in. They were like
Okay.
they took them because so much drama went down. I can't even think. I have to kind of refresh my mind on a lot of
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
because
yeah. So
a lot of names are escaping me right now because it's been a few months
right.
since I've followed any of it, and I
Yeah.
got too many other things going in my head that I can't think. I can't focus on that right now, but yeah, so a lot of stuff. We could probably do a show just on that. Just talking about all the stuff that they've gone through and what people have done, and it's just crazy. Yeah, my mind.
Yeah, and I
I guess.
know he's
Go ahead.
I know he's doing interviews and trying to people give the guy who does the soft white underbelly a hard time, like you're perpetuating, you're keeping them in the circle, you're contributing, but he's doing a lot more than that. And I
Mhm.
watched the interview with him, which I thought was really good, and he spends a lot of his own money trying to help
Mhm.
them, even if it's not helping them, because
Yeah.
that's what he does. And this guy Art, whatever he's doing, it's like
Not
you can
even
say you're
close
trying
to
to
what.
spread
Yeah, what Mark does
Mark.
with white
Yeah.
underbelly, soft white underbelly
Yeah.
is amazing, and
Hmm.
I have a lot of respect for that guy, and he's been through so much in just the last year.
Yes.
I would love to
Yes.
do just an episode on that whole thing because there's so many different
Yes.
people. Like Rebecca was one that I kind of kept up with. I haven't lately. I haven't seen anything, but
I
probably
do too. I
because
do too. Every couple of months, I'm like, oh my God, let me see how Rebecca's doing.
yeah. I mean, it's like if I'm
Yeah.
not searching, like once you do a search on YouTube and then everything starts popping up on that topic, and right now everything that's popping up in my feed now is like mowing grass and thrift shopping because I've kind of like laid back on a lot of stuff, but usually it's been all the Erica Kirk and all the I do watch Candace and um Baron Coleman and Coach Collins um and Ian Carroll. Um, that's pretty much what comes up in my YouTube is I follow those people on all the Charlie Kirk stuff.
Mine is crocheting and true crime.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I get that pop up once in a while too because I do, especially anything crafty stuff like that.
You know
I'm
what?
always looking for.
I've given up a lot on news because I like this thing with Erica Kirk and Candace Owens. Like, I don't know enough to know enough,
It
but
changes so much every day. It's hard to keep up with.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I just think the number one thing was when we were during COVID. Um, are you there? It says it's
Yeah. Hold
redirecting
on.
me.
It's
Okay.
it's trying to reconnect, so give it a second. I don't know what's going on. My internet's working, so I don't know. Make sure you have a stable internet connection. Well, I do. I do.
Well,
As
I
far as
do.
I know, I do.
I do. I do. Uh oh.
I do, I do, I do. I don't know. Hopefully.
Uh oh. What happened? What happened? Rainy. Rainy. I'm rainy. Okay, I think that's it. I think we'll say goodbye.
Well, all right, guys. Well, it just seems like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. So we're going to go ahead and end our program today, and we'll be back tomorrow. So have a great day, and peace.